Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the animal farm, and we'll see you in just a minute. Alright guys, let's take a look at this. So like I said yesterday, super crazy launch. Hours. Not that it was a bad thing. It was a very good thing in some sense, right? So following the animal farm telegram, everybody's waiting for this to occur. I know there were a lot of people that fell for, fake telegram users sending out the contracts for the pigs and the dogs, which are the two tokens associated with this. So some of those people put their money in, bought the tokens they thought, and of course there's scammers out there. So they were creating fake tokens, sort of related to all this in some sense, right? So that's going on. People are just antsy, ready to get in, jump in, and get on this thing. But the real people were following Forex Shark, his particular Telegram group, and the Animal Farm Telegram group. So really, the way it fell out was there were some bots apparently that were trying to buy up on the contract. You couldn't do this on PancakeSwap yet because it wasn't really released, but they were trying to buy up. Apparently, got in, through the contract process itself. That's not something I'm familiar with at all, way above me. But essentially, they got locked out, blocked after they tried this action, and blacklisted. So their tokens became worthless. They couldn't move them or do anything with them, couldn't trade those out again. So in the end, they put a little bit of capital in here, which only helped out those that have bought into this early, that followed the instructions correctly. So in the end, Forex Shark had said that he was not going to allow any bots to come in and mess around with the prices and play the games that they would do just to make a quick profit off this. So super happy about that. And so anyways, here we are. So that was hours and hours of opening and closing the contract and catching the bots and whatnot. So all right, so we can see the TVL that's already locked in here, 260 million. This could easily at some point go to a billion. I know that's been said by others. I don't know if it's going to happen or how fast it's going to happen, but that would be super exciting, right? That is a lot of capital that would be put into this. So you can see some of the BUSD rewards have already been paid out, and there's more in the vault. We'll see what goes on with all this, but let's dive right into it. So yesterday, I had to redeem my PL2 tokens, which those were the swaps from the Rev tokens. I won't get into details on all that. That was the layer 2. That was essentially what everybody was farming in layer 1, rather. Sorry. So farmed up the Rev tokens, swapped for PL2, and here we are. So I had a PL2 balance. I traded those in yesterday once that actually occurred for dogs and pigs. The dogs token is used to help generate the pigs token with liquidity pools or by itself. And the pigs are the governance token. So that's what's paying out the BUSD. Of course, that means you have the ownership or stake in this platform, which is awesome. Great BUSD rewards for having pigs in the pig pen, which is over here on the left, but we'll get there. So let's start with the farms first, right? So finally yesterday, after all the craziness, there was just, I won't say there were a bunch of problems. There was just, there was stuff going on that kind of pushed out, delayed things. And so finally was able to get into these core farms here. So you can see I got into these three pools, or farms rather. The dogs BUSD, the dogs Rat BNB, and the Drip BUSD, and then an additional farm here. This one is a little different. So these are generating pigs. The Rat BNB BUSD, that's generating dogs, which very crucial. You have to have a balance, right? You want more pigs, everybody does, right? But at some point, a week later, if I don't have the same amount of dogs to pair, or individual dogs in the pool, then at some point you are running out of, or not generating the same amount of pigs as everyone else, so you kind of fall back. But anyways, all right, so I made all those tokens. The Drip BUSD is pretty obvious. It comes from the Drip Garden, or you can make it and pair it yourself in the Drip Liberation. But either way, yeah, with that, so let's take a look at the pools after this. All right, so dogs. That's the main one here, right? So that's where we're generating more pigs, but it's a single stake, right? So this is the stop measure right here for me. I don't have the BNB or the BUSD. I'm waiting on that to come in. So you're kind of generating it from the pig pen. And then as that comes out, and I'll show you a strategy that someone created here. I've seen multiples, but in particular this guy's. I'll show you that. But it's all strategy how you're going to do this, right? So in particular, I'm waiting on that liquidity to come through so that I can actually pair here to pull these guys out, and then I'll pair them and put them back over here in the farms, right? That's kind of what happened yesterday a little bit, but this is one of these guys are here. I had more dogs and those got paired and put in the farms, and so it'll be a continuous process, right? So let's drop back over here. That's the gist of it. There are other farms here, so some stable coin in particular. So these are good spots if you already have the stable coins or you don't want to have to worry about any impermanent loss. Great thing, obviously, if you have those sitting there doing nothing for you, to put those in here to earn you something, which in this case is going to be the dogs, right? And additional stable coins as well down here. Yeah, so lots of different farm possibilities here. Obviously, look at your APRs to see which is the best at the time, and they fluctuate just like they did in the layer one. People are going to be seeing what's going on here. They're going to be moving money around as it comes up, but your best is here. There's no taxes except on the drip BUSD, so just the 1% there, which if you're in drip, this indirectly helps you out. Even though you lose it, it goes to the drip faucet. So in the end, you're paying yourself back, right? So continuing to hold drip up and keeping it stable. But there's no taxes here in these core farms. That's 1% is very low, and these generate the most, as you can see. Okay, so let's go back to pools, right? So the dogs is not as high. These single pools are always going to be lower in general, except right now while things are kind of scoping out. People may not have as much into these. Definitely something to look at. That 6% deposit on these may be high, and note the dogs is 0. This may be high, but you could earn that back pretty quickly with the 518, what is it, almost 520% APR. So, that's pretty significant. I don't know what that comes out to off the top of my head. It's, say 1.5% a day on your investment. So yeah, that 6% comes back pretty quick, right? Especially depending on what you do here. I mean, I wouldn't say spin the dogs, but nonetheless, yeah. So this is looking good right now. I like where this is going, and let's go ahead and jump over to the pig pen. So this is the meat of it, right? Governance token. So you're staking your pigs and you're earning straight BUSD, right? So I've already claimed, or actually had a positive, which also claims at the same time if you make a deposit. That's the way this normally works in a lot of different farms and pools, right? It helps you ease the transactions so you don't waste a bunch of gas. So, all right, it's just going to earn passive as we go, so I can harvest at any time. I'm a small guy though, by the way, so won't be thrown off by this. Yesterday it was gigantic. Of course, like anything, you got to have recoveries, but this value was way higher yesterday when this released. There's been some sell-offs that was expected, but I think people are lacking long-term view here, which is great for me. I'm sure Forex will talk more to that today. I think he's probably going to do AMAs today to discuss some stuff. But overall, I think this has been a success. I'm not going to pop these out and sell. I think that's a stupid idea. But that's my opinion, right? I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And as always, none of this is financial advice, right? So just giving you my view, what I'm doing. Do this at your own risk. All right. All right, well, that said, so let's do a little plug. So, of course, I'll put the referral and the link for the animal farm. It does earn me something. I'd love to use this to do better with the YouTube videos and to continue to grow the channel, which would mean maybe a better camera, better quality, etc. Right? So if you like the channel and you want to support it, please feel free to use the referral link if you guys are not involved in this already. If you are, then no big deal. So appreciate your viewing of my channel. And with that, let's move back into this. So as I mentioned, Drip Liberation came out in layer 1, so it's not new. This is their way of avoiding you paying taxes to create the Drip BUSD, and it finds through several ways. Oh, mine wasn't loaded yet. It finds through any means possible with all of these tokens the best way for you to get whatever it is you're inputting and getting out drip BUSD, right? So that's pretty, that's a pretty cool thing. He built this in. The taxes already is a nice thing to avoid those taxes by pooling it in here, right? So all of these are options for you. It'll take it in, it'll find the best path to get you the drip BUSD. So of course you'd come in here and I've got a whole 16, right, BUSD right now. So it's not going to work too well probably, but you'd come in here, you'd supply it. In this case, I'd have to enable it. It looks like I haven't enabled. You'd enable it, you'd supply it after that, and it would spit out your drip BUSD pair, right? And then the whole point of that is you want to come over here either to the garden or back to the farms, and we'll show that again. If you for sure only want to do pigs and you're only interested in the layer 2 portion, not the drip garden, you'd stake them here and you'd earn your 164% APR, so it'd be working for you there. And then if you want to do this, this is something I invested in early on. I didn't get in as early as other people, but this is the garden. So just like drip, if you're familiar with it, very similar idea, except this is supposed to pay out about 3%, but this is a higher risk. And so the way this works is this kind of flows with what everyone else is doing, right? So this contract balance sits here. So this was at about 400,000 LP last week. People were putting in everything, trying to get ready for this once layer 1 kind of finished, and they were trying to earn out their drip BUSD out of this. So it was piled in because they moved it out of layer 1 when layer 1 finished, and they put it back over here waiting for layer 2 to open because they couldn't, they couldn't put it back in the farm because it wasn't there yet, right? So this contract balance was huge and it was paying out very well. Well, it's lower now because people have now taken this and put it into the farms trying to earn pigs. That's okay. I think this is going to drive back up. I'm focusing on compounding now because the LP value that is giving me, or the amount of seed LP value I'm getting daily, the seeds don't change, but the worth of LP that the seeds have does change. So it's lower now than it was, but right now I'm focusing on compounding. And by the way, I think a lot of you guys probably already know this in the community. Let me pull this up real quick if I can find it. We'll come back to the animal farm in just a second. So, all right, so a wonderful guy named Luke Charters on Telegram has made this, and I'll put this down to the bottom. I give him a plug. The garden scheduler that he created is fantastic. So, okay, you just put in your wallet address, right? It automatically pulls the data and it knows exactly what's happening with your account with the seed generation. It'll give you all kinds of other data. But I was talking about the seed or the LP value per plant, which, ties back to seeds indirectly. It's much lower now. This was at like 0.249 or maybe even higher, probably higher. Well, obviously it's slowed down now, right? So I've been focusing on compounding, and you can't compound fractions of a seed. If in this case, the best way to show it is, see the one plant here says that is 2,592,000 seeds. Well, if you hit 2,598,000, that extra 6,000 is toast if you hit compound. It goes nowhere. It's just done, right? So there's no fractional seeds. It doesn't go back in. You basically lose them, right? So he shows this right here. If I were to compound, I'd lose all those seeds, which is bad. You don't want to do that. You're throwing away not only a portion of a plant that you could have gained with a little bit of time lost if you have to wait for it, but technically you're throwing away money that you could have claimed. All right. So here's the easiest thing to do. He tells you right here. Today for me at 3:36, I will have, in this case, one plant because I had none. I compounded earlier, right? So if I wait till then and I compound, I will be very close to even and I won't lose any seeds. Now you're going to lose just a tiny fraction, but there's a big difference between that and this gap here. So 3:36 to 9:39, right? That's almost 6 hours. Or actually it's 6 hours and 3 minutes. So you don't want to compound in the middle of that because you're throwing away that much time in whatever you generated, which in this case, the time is money because their seeds are lost. Great, great app this guy created. I'll put this in the description. Go give this guy, go support this guy, please. He has his information down here. And I think that's it for here. He's got some other apps, but we'll get back to the animal farm. So of course, continue to compound or harvest if you want, but I just gave you good information on what I do. your strategy can be different. You know, right now I'm focusing on compounding. That doesn't mean I'm not going to harvest once a week or something. You know, 6 days compound, harvest one day out of the week. I don't know. I'm evaluating that as it goes, but use your own strategy. All right, so back to these farms. So you need to add liquidity, right, to the dogs. So the way you want to do that, I think there's no taxes here. Pancake Swap, I believe, they have taxes. So there's a transfer tax when you move dogs around, and I think this is talking to the 6% if you transfer them anywhere, right? So that's not good. You don't want to lose 6%. You come in here and you hit Add Dogs LP. Easy enough, right? It pops up here. So the two options are BUSD or BNB to pair with them because those were the two farms. So you just pick which one you want. And this is BNB, not wrap BNB. I believe it converts it to wrap BNB for you. So come in with the BNB. So you put in whatever you want. So I've got a handful of dogs there, right? So it says if I want to do that, I need to actually have about 9.2 BUSD. So I would come down here to supply, and which you have to approve this, by the way. I think you'll have an approved dogs and approved BUSD to spend when you first do this. So you do those to accept the contract, and then of course you'd enter it in and accept it, right? So, all right. So that's easy enough, right? It creates those. Well, of course you'd want to come back and stake them. You can also come back here and remove the pairs, but I think that probably the most important thing here is, let's come back to farms, or we'll start at the pig pen first to show you the pigs. If you don't see, or you're getting into this for the first time, Pancake Swap gave me an issue this morning. It didn't actually show the pigs, or it didn't take me there. I'll just give it a shot and see, but it was loading the account and showing just the standard cake, and not showing me the actual pigs. So I think partially because it says pair info, even though it's supposed to be showing the right account. So I think this is the right account. So no big deal there. And while that loads, let's just come back. My recommendation is you can try to come to this one, and hopefully it works now. But yeah, so see, it's going to add liquidity, which you're not adding liquidity. You're just wanting to buy pigs, right? That one's stuck. So this is what I would do. Just come to the contract on BSC scan, right? So there it is right there. You can just copy this, throw it in your wallet. You can come back to Pancake Swap after you've copied this. Easy enough, right? So now back on Pancake Swap. By the way, make sure you type in the address. I don't have any other fake addresses that I've typed in by mistake or gone anywhere, so I've always got this available. But make sure you go to the right Pancake Swap. Don't mess around and go to the wrong URL. So let's go to Exchange. I've already added these, but if I wanted to do BNB, I've got that address pasted. And see, now it's shown there. Of course, it's going to give you a pop-up down here if you don't have it on your account. I already have it, so it's okay for me. But just make sure you copy the right one. This is how people lost a lot of money yesterday going to the wrong contracts, the fake ones. Okay, so you come in here, you'd make your approval, you'd purchase your amount of pigs, and good to go. And this is the same path as dogs, so I'm not going to show you that, but it's the same idea. I think you can probably go to the farms, the dogs down here, and you can probably go to the contract here because this contract is, well, it's probably going to be the dogs BUSD, but I'm pretty sure you could get to the dogs. Sorry, I'm kind of fumbling around on this one, huh? So there's the dogs right there. So that should be the right one. You could always come back here too for the pricing, right? So you can come down here, check the pricing and see if the links are working for Pancake Swap. So if you guys want to hop in early. This is still early. You know, we're not even 24 hours from launch. I think we're in a good position here. I know I am excited about this and glad I got in when I did. All right, and last but not least, I want to take a look at an animal farm strategy that K-Dot, someone in one of the Telegram groups I'm in, I'm not going to list that out, but I will put his Telegram name in the description. He was gracious enough to supply this and let me show it on here on the channel. So we'll follow up with this. All right, let's hop into this. So we're going to start with the block here on the left. Number 1 and number 2 are going to be valid for everybody. You're going to buy pigs and dogs. In the case that you, and this is unlikely, I'll say, the case that you haven't swapped your PL2 for pigs and dogs, that's the pre-token. I seriously doubt there's anyone watching this now that hasn't done that, but if you haven't, you better go do it, because I don't know if that's going to last forever. Forex Sharp may take that away. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to find out. So in either case, you're going to have pigs and dogs in some method, right? Tons of strategies. This is what he did. You want to stake your pigs first. So you're going to come in here and stake those immediately, right? So we'll pretend, I don't think he has that on here where he's staking his initial amount, but let's say they pop in here. So that's your pigs. So pigs come in, that's your initial stake. You put those in. Those are generating BUSD profits now, and he's got several strats here, the red. So he's got some over on this side, and I believe it's 50%. I'm not sure about what the 100% is off the top of my head, but right now he's got 50% coming out, and that's going between dog BUSD LP, and he's also going to use it for the BUSD USDT LP. So this is a stablecoin pool he's going to use it for, which will generate dogs, right? So you need to generate dogs as well. He's generating dogs with that. The other portion, he's, like I said, dog BUSD LP, that actually generates pigs. So he's putting those in that pool, or the farm in this case, and that generates more pigs. The other BUSD he's going to start using for profits. Got to take profits. You can't do without those. It looks like he's going to use some of those for dogs, to buy more dogs to put into the dog pool. He's going to use a portion of that. That's the leftover now, because what we're at 60. So the other 40% of BUSD over here, that's going to go into drip liberation, which he's going to utilize to get, obviously, drip BUSD to put in the farm there to generate more pigs. He's also going to use, so he's got a 5 compound strategy on his drip garden and a 2-day harvest. So his harvest, he's also going to pull out more drip BUSD to put into that farm. So multiple paths coming in here. So he's also got a note here that some of that BUSD, it looks like after 30 days of compounding the farm, this is not the garden we're talking here. This is specifically out of the pigs. So he's going to utilize some of that BUSD for all these areas, but some of that he's going to take back after 30 days straight back to drip. Tons of strategies. If you don't have drip, highly recommend you get into that first before the animal farm strategy. I do have a video that'll be down in the description. But it'll be down in the description. Please go watch that one. And if you haven't joined, I'd love for you to join with me as a referral. That'd greatly help me out, and so that I can start giving back to the community, as that's something I'd like to do here in the future. But it's going to require me to build up a team. Back to this. So he's got some stock profit taking notes right here. So he's got a strategy he's listed out, right? He's taking no profits until all the temp dogs are paired. And what he means by that is he had the initial pot of dogs in the very beginning. So yesterday, which, you know, technically it continues to run, right? But he had his initial pool that he had. He wants to drain those down to 0 before he starts taking any profit. So those guys are sitting in the dog pool temporarily until he can pair them with BUSD. So that's kind of how this flow works. And after that, and he's done with those initial pair of dogs, or pool of dogs, he wants to go and get back his capital that he put in, 50% of it only. And then after that, it's 10%, right? So he's got a good strategy. Like I said, everybody's got all kinds of different strategies. I've seen them everywhere. This is actually a more simplified one. I've seen some pretty complicated ones out there, right? Doesn't have to be complicated though. This is easy. You just have to kind of go in with what you want to get out of it. And like you saw, there's tons of farms and pools. It really just depends on what your risk tolerance is and what you want to do. Do you want to take profits early? Are you more long-term? You know, whatever it may be, right? You got to do your own thing. All right, so with that, do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. I can't stress that enough, right? Be careful with your wallets, guys. Plenty of stuff going on out these days. Take care of them. Look at a hardware wallet for yourself. And with that, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if so. I definitely need the support, guys. I'm just starting up. That support hopefully will help me make more YouTube videos and increase the quality as well of the YouTube videos. And with that, until next time, stay safe out there in crypto world. Thanks all.